Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to make a brief contribution, but also to support the resolution on the draft value added tax amendment. Mr. Speaker, this is yet another step in our journey to develop the tourism industry, to develop tourism. It's yet another step in our journey to strengthen the economy. And I want to take this opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to congratulate the Prime Minister, the mover of the motion, but also to congratulate the Minister with responsibility for tourism and his team, his whole team, for the tremendous job that they have put into, the tremendous effort that they have put into this work. Mr. Speaker, as colleagues in cabinet, sometimes you go through a whole term of government. I've had the experience before. I've been in another cabinet led by the member for Vieux-Fort South. And sometimes after elections, you realize that you spend 5 years going to work every day, trying to get things done and so on, but not enough time sometimes to sit down and really look at the work of your colleagues with their teams and to see the impact that they have on the whole collective, on the government, and the work that we're doing together, but each minister has his or her own story to tell. Over the last 3.5 years, Mr. Speaker, we have seen in every ministry stories of sacrifice and growth and development. But in this case, I really want to congratulate the Minister for Tourism, Creative Industries and Investment. When you look at the work that has been done, the level of investment, and I'm sure we'll have an opportunity come next year and into the budget debates, we'll have another opportunity, we'll have many opportunities to analyze the tourism figures and to look at the investments and the whole CIP and the kinds of pressures that the minister has been under. Every single day they are trying some other way to tackle the minister, to see how they can juke him under his belly or somewhere. And no matter what they try, Mr. Speaker, he comes back even stronger. And I can tell you that we have locked arms with the minister to ensure that we continue our work. So I really want to congratulate the minister. Mr. Speaker, the new tourism, the new Tourism Act, the amendments, the changes, continue to encourage individuals to invest in properties that already exist. It continues to incentivize all St. Lucians who are interested in the accommodation sector. You see encouragement for individuals who want to add new rooms and even smaller properties, whether you are in rural areas or you are in the inner city. And you see also plans to cause, whether it be at the larger hotels, in the north of the country, the south of the country, in small communities, you can see the efforts to really develop the tourism product all around St. Lucia so that more and more people benefit. I'm very interested in this, Mr. Speaker, because in the constituency of Vieux-Fort North, a rural constituency, there are many experiences we're trying to develop, whether it be sea moss, whether it be kayaking, whether it be the waterfall, the Fonjoyer waterfall, whether it be the forest at Woodlands or the farms at Woodlands. There are so many experiences we are trying to galvanize the people of Vieux-Fort North around so that we too can benefit from tourism. Sea moss production. There are so many examples. The examples in the area of the culinary experience, trying to develop all of our small restaurants and places where individuals eat to be the best in St. Lucia. Some of them are already the best in St. Lucia, but we are trying to see how we can encourage them so that they can up their game, so to speak. to benefit from tourism. So it's an opportunity for all of us to cause there to be experiences in our communities. Some communities are more advanced than others. They have developed various experiences, but there is an opportunity for all of us in every constituency to develop these products. I look forward in Vieux-Fort North to the development of sports tourism. And I want to thank the Prime Minister, Minister for Sports, for the development of the Bellevue playing field, and that has progressed well. And we have tested the lights, and we are now hoping to work on the grounds and the washrooms and so on. And that too will help develop sports tourism, where St. Lucians, whether you be from Grosile or whatever, come down to Vieux-Fort North to play football or whatever. That too is tourism. And I also want to encourage those in the cultural area to look forward to certain developments in the creative industries that will be coming to Vieux-Fort North, and we look forward to those developments. The figures speak for themselves, Mr. Speaker. The increase in visitor arrivals and the record-breaking numbers that we are having, the figures speak for themselves. And these things do not just happen just by talk. These things don't just happen because you believe you can speak of tourism or you're a guru. These things happen as a result of hard work, dedication, planning, strategic focus, and these results come. Negotiations and investments. These things do not just happen. That's the difference between them and us, Mr. Speaker. That's the difference between the last government and our government. They spoke a lot about a lot of things. 23 islands, employing thousands of St. Lucians, building hotels, 7 hotels 1 year, 5 hotels in Miku, and all of that kind of thing. Just talk, just talk. But we have a strategic direction for tourism, and you can see the results. And for the people in my constituency, what does that mean? When a cruise ship comes to the port in Castries, when the hotels are filled, when when Coconut Bay is filled, what does that mean? It means that you have a greater opportunity to be employed. At Piero, we have our artisans and craftsmen and craftswomen who create those birds out of coconuts, dry coconuts and so on. We have many of them. And they leave Vieux-Fort North with their products, go to Castries, and they make a living out of it. That is what tourism means. It means all of those cooks and chefs who are from our constituency, who are employed in tourism. It means when we strengthen tourism, you can get greater opportunities. And as I said before, create opportunities within Vieux-Fort North. Airbnb, we have a small hotel in Vieux-Fort North, and there are others. We are building some, not we, but investors, private investors are building, because as you know, we have some of the best views in St. Lucia of the eastern coast and the Atlantic Ocean. So this is a great opportunity for us. I want to also say to you, Mr. Speaker, that next year we will be announcing, I'm sure the Prime Minister, Minister for Tourism and so on, there are a few announcements that will excite our artists in Vieux-Fort North, and I'm sure we can develop that product also for tourism. I wish to say to you, Mr. Speaker, if you grant me just a few seconds to wish my constituents well, I wish to thank the Prime Minister, my cabinet colleagues, officials of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs, staff of the various hospitals, the wellness centers, all the nurses, all the security people, everybody who works in the health sector, everybody who works there. I want to thank you for your work and your sacrifice during the last calendar year. We still have a few months in the fiscal year, still have a few months left, but I want to thank them, Mr. Speaker, because we've had a very challenging time over the last few months. We've had some challenges, but our government has risen to those challenges as we've always promised. The Prime Minister, the Cabinet of Ministers, in relation to health, we've increased the resources, we are increasing the human resources, and we are facing the challenges with with encouragement to the staff and to ensure that we improve our facilities. Just this morning, I was very pleased to have the Prime Minister, the Member of Parliament for Castries South, and my cabinet colleagues, Mr. Speaker, yourself, and many other invited guests to see the opening of services, to mark the formal opening of services. Not opening, but to mark the services that are already being delivered at the Dr. Betty Wells Urban Polyclinic, and also we were at the Dr. Winston Paris Medical Complex. You will hear a lot more about that, Mr. Speaker. You will hear a lot more about that. So right now, hundreds of St. Lucians have been going to get their eyes checked. We are preparing for surgeries in January, and that is happening already, Mr. Speaker. The Diabetic Retinopathy Clinic is open again with new equipment, refurbished facilities, and we have assisted the OKEU Hospital to the tune of $15 million, supplies, and so on. And we are having some of the services from the Castries Health Center at the Dr. Betty Wells Urban Polyclinic. And so, Mr. Speaker, I really wish to thank all those who continue to give our government support. The Prime Minister, cabinet colleagues, staff at the ministry, the nurses, the doctors, and everyone. I just want to say a few more things. It's Christmas time, Mr. Speaker, and it's always a very challenging time for our health professionals. At the hospitals, the emergency department, Christmas is a very busy time. But I just want to encourage St. Lucians. It is something many of you don't know, Mr. Speaker, that during the Christmas season, and sometimes the nurses tell me, Minister, just leave that alone. But during the Christmas season, it is very unfortunate and sad that we see an increase in the number of patients who their relatives take them to the hospital and don't return for them until after Christmas. You may not believe this, Mr. Speaker, but at both the OKEU Hospital, at the St. Jude Hospital, we see a number of individuals who come with their either elderly relatives or sick relatives, and they come to the hospital with them seeking services, only to find when these people are ready to be discharged, they don't come back for them until late, maybe January or so on. It's very clear what is happening. So I want to encourage St. Lucians. Christmas is a time we have to really care for each other. Let us try our very best not to leave these responsibilities to the hospitals, because what we are doing is we are placing pressure on the hospitals. We are occupying the beds that should be left for emergencies. A lot of that is happening, Mr. Speaker. We have a number of families who have had their relatives at the hospitals for years. No one is claiming them. A number of individuals are just living at the hospitals. And those kinds of things, we need to open up and speak about them so that we can relieve. When you hear about pressures at the hospital, there are no beds and so on. A number of the beds are occupied by what we call long stay patients, long stay individuals. They are individuals who are just living at the hospitals. And now we are trying our very best to work with social services, you know, to help ease the situation. So, là où mène famille à l'hôpital là pour service, viens acheter famille ou souple. Parce que yo ka occupy ces couches l'hôpital là, avec les nous emergency, nous passage une couche parce que là ni moun qui à l'hôpital là, yo ka couper long stay. Ça veut dire famille yo mène à l'hôpital là avec yo pas ka vie point yo. Docteur ka acheter qui laisse qui famille yo, tout le monde ka dit yo pas connaître moun ça là. So those kinds of pressures, especially during the Christmas season, they force the doctors and the nurses and so on to do all kinds of things to accommodate. So let us help the health professionals. Watch how you drink, your driving, you know, the conflicts and so on. All of these put pressure on the emergency services, both at St. Jude Hospital, Soufrière Hospital, at all of our hospitals. Although Tapio is a private hospital, but the services at Tapio are necessary at the Tapio Hospital. If we live recklessly, endless accidents and so on, and you We have the emergency services at Tapion, at St. Jude, at OKEU under pressure, then it makes our whole situation difficult. So I just want to send this little message out for the Christmas season. And I want to wish all of my constituents, my own family, everybody, I want to wish you well. I just want to sound one last little note of caution. We are parliamentarians. Let us not threaten our people to get ready for war. It's Christmas time. I hear many on the opposite side say, just take your break for Christmas, next year is war. So when they come to the parliament and try to behave nice as if everybody, Merry Christmas and so on, but on the public political platforms, they're saying, take a break for Christmas, but from January is war. I want to urge all of my constituents and all of us, all St. Lucians, let's have our healthy political debates. Let us enjoy Christmas with each other. Whether you are Flambeau or Labour or NOBA or NOPI, we are family. Let's have a good Christmas, and after that, let's have our political debates. But this thing of drumming up war, and they say they love St. Lucia, it's war after Christmas. Let us encourage our constituents, especially in this environment, especially in this kind of environment in the Caribbean, in the world. Let us encourage our constituents to be at peace with each other and to love each other, even though we have our political differences. Mr. Speaker, I wish you, your family, and all the staff of the Parliament, everyone, colleagues, a peaceful and safe Christmas. Thank you very much.